woman arrested for stealing and reselling hire cars. Cancer treatment availability a growing concern. And Education Minister fields questions on cheating in exams.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and welcome to Wednesday's news. Police from Port Moresby's Hohola station have arrested a woman allegedly involved in selling hire cars. Hohola Police Station Commander Senior Inspector Ben Kua said the arrest is a breakthrough after years of following tip-offs. Since last night, police were able to recoup 3 hire cars about to be sold by the woman.
Hire car dealers around Port Moresby fronted the Hohola police station this morning after being told the mastermind behind the hire car deals was arrested by police. Following tip-offs and close monitoring by police, the elderly woman was caught at Vicent City yesterday when she was about to receive payment from a car buyer.
Transactions supposed to take place at Vicent City yesterday, so our boys moved in and they got that the middleman was trying to sell the vehicle to the buyers, and then we get that lady who was the mastermind of all these things.
Police did not release the real name of the suspect who has been going around hiring cars under false pretense, then selling them off to buyers. 2 other men were also arrested by police and are in custody. According to police, the woman hires cars from unsuspecting victims, then gives to her accomplices to sell.
Okay, then I'm talking about him 4 days. So after 4 days, time me bla call him and phone plan no forget. So then me bla around me bla walk lo pining me go now. Then me bla around police station and me bla him complain.
Since last night, Hohola police have impounded 3 cars from different hire car dealers which the woman was about to sell. Ellen Stephen is a victim. Her car was hired 2 years ago and was never returned.
Using me go giving money lo mi bla koni money alo site mi no sabe koni mem lo site nem sim car go salim after lo 2 years go salim go lose o gata lo mi bla.
CID officers will begin questioning the suspects today. Police believe the group has been doing this for the past 5 to 10 years.
So it was going on for some time, and the owners of these hire vehicles are thinking that they are still using it, and they normally come to police and saying that the vehicle go beyond the required time, so they are missing. So normally police look for these vehicles on the road, but actually they were already sold out to the buyers.
Jack Lapavi Jr., National EMTV News.
A cancer patient admitted at the PNG Cancer Unit at Engau Hospital is calling on the National Health Department to get a new cancer treatment machine or bring in experts to fix it. John Maifi has undergone 18 radiotherapy treatment but was not able to continue as the radiation machine stopped working. Maifi is appealing to the national government to look into the situation faced by the cancer unit.
John Maifi has been in the ward for about 6 months since he was referred from Port Moresby to Engau's cancer unit. He said he and the other patients are waiting to undergo radiotherapy treatment, but was told the radiation machine was not functioning. It has been 3 weeks since the machine stopped working.
Gaman tu masih dulu kuda selasanti. Orang dulu gaman important or rugby important. Just ramen important. Man important. Or masih dulu kuda selana. Onem something bakalap renga ausik.
Last Thursday, her husband of another patient raised similar concerns to the government. Alan Connie and his wife were referred from Mandy Hospital to Lay's Cancer Unit. His wife had 17 more radiotherapy sessions to go, but was told to wait until the machine is fixed.
Tingin mi plalo wampla machine plus scanning mol mama na machine blow help him radiation power where it can save him na substantive life dol mama blow me.
Engau's CEO Dr. Christopher Kenny has, in a media release issued last week, said the Cancer Treatment Center comes under the National Department of Health. Therefore, the department is responsible in making sure the machine is fully functional and operational in serving the needs of its patients. Enga Hospital is closely supporting the unit in its efforts to ensure all patients and cases are treated. Dr. Kenny has said the Cancer Center will receive new CT scanner and a mammography unit which will improve diagnostic abilities. Mata Luis, National EMTV News, Ley.
Meanwhile, Dr. John Niblett, the former chief radiation oncologist at Engau's cancer unit, says the cancer radiation treatment machine would need to undergo major service work, while the source of radiation, cobalt, needs to be replaced every 4 years. He said since the machine was installed in 2008 and commissioned in 2009, there has never been any major service work carried out on the machine itself, as well as the replacement of the source of radiation.
Ley is the only center in the country that provides radiotherapy treatment, and majority of the cancer patients currently at Engau are halfway through their radiation treatment. Former chief radiation oncologist for PNG, Dr. John Niblett, says treating cancer is a multidisciplinary service and cancer treatment requires all modalities of treatment. He says with the current problem now with the machine, all treatment has come to a stop.
And losing their treatment halfway means they have a very reduced chance of cure.
Radiation treatment needs to be done straight through the 4 or 5 week cycle of treatment. The machine should have been replaced 4 years ago. The National Health Department was notified numerous times of the issue, but nothing has eventuated.
And now the Health Department is trying to get the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Authority, to help us with a source. But not only is the source replaced at 4-year intervals, but also there's a major service carried out actually on the machine itself. So like a car, you have to do regular servicing.
To buy a new cobalt machine would cost around 2.5 and 3 million kina. But if the machine breaks down, medical physicists who are volunteers from Australia are flown in to fix it. According to Dr. Niblett, when such happens, the unit only need to notify the health center manager of the problem, so that experts from Australia can come and fix the problem.
From time to time, a breakdown on the cobalt machine, which is our main radiotherapy treatment machine, occurs. If that happens, we need to have a visit from our experts who are volunteers in Australia. That's to say our medical physicist, Dr. Tony Nettle, and the cobalt engineer, Mr. Peter Francis. Now, we expect the health department to pay for their expenses so that they can come. Usually, we only have to notify the health cancer manager that there's a problem, so he can get busy organizing their airfares, accommodation, and visas.
Dr. Niblett's remarks are in response to the breakdown of the cancer radiation treatment machine 3 weeks ago. This has prompted cancer patients who have had their treatment stopped halfway through to raise concerns. Engau CEO Dr. Christopher Kenny has said the cancer unit will receive a new CT scanner and a mammography to help improve diagnostic abilities. Mata Luis, National EMTV News, Ley.
In Parliament today, member for Anglimp South Wagi, Komun Joe Koim, asked the Minister for Health and HIV/AIDS, Michael Malabag, about updates of the cancer machine at the Engau Memorial Hospital in Ley. He also asked about the cost to get a CT scan done. Mr. Koim said people from rural areas are travelling to urban centres like Port Moresby seeking medical assistance, with a number of them succumbing to their illnesses.
The member for Anglim South Wagi asked the Minister for Health to give an update on the status of the country's only radiotherapy machine in Leh.
Planjo line blumi long Papua New Guinea only go through long big play long cancer and all Arab related something. So cancer machine long Leh how me work me like ask him by Minister you can enlighten all people of Papua New Guinea because plenty only in time.
Minister Malabag said the machine has been non-operational for 2 weeks. He said it has taken staff of the radiotherapy unit a long time to identify the problem.
Gamax Australia provides servicing for the machine and they are sending an engineer from Australia next week to fix the machine.
On the other hand, he said a decision was made asking the health department to hand over the management of the cancer unit to the Angao Memorial Hospital Board to manage as part of the hospital as its everyday operations.
The policy component of cancer still remains with the health department. The management has agreed to this transfer, but under its management they will change the cancer care system away from radiotherapy and refocus on prevention, early detection, chemotherapy, surgery, and palliative care.
As a way forward, Minister Malabag said 2 additional cancer specialists are being recruited for Angao to expand current services. A Bachelor of Radiotherapy program is now being offered at the University of Technology with an aim of providing more assistance to cancer patients in Leh. Minister Malabag also admitted that the cost of getting CT scans was expensive.
But they are a bit expensive, but all I can see is they are essential, very essential missions. And, our good guys in budget that we're going to hand down budget, we try to put everything that we want to get. But we are in a situation that a bit stressed at the moment.
Deli Waigeno, National MTV News.
The month of October is dedicated to awareness on women's cancer. We'll have stories on that later in the bulletin. The problems of health clinics in Madang ranges from shortage of medical drugs, power outages, rundown buildings and facilities to overworking staff who are outnumbered by patients on a daily basis. In response, the Madang Provincial Health Director, Marcus Kachau, says it is a nationwide problem that cannot be addressed due to lack of funding. Rachel Shise with this report.
No medical drugs, no reliable transport, power and water problems, hygiene problems and many others, contributing to the outnumbered and overworking nurses at the clinics within Madang Town. Barbara Sombari, a laboratory technician and other nurses of the Madang Town Clinic, for instance, attended to 120 patients yesterday. There were only 10 staff against the 120 patients.
Just collecting blood from the patients till 3 o'clock. I didn't have any break, no lunch, and I'm still here.
The clinics run out of medical drugs and supplies from time to time, in which the Jomba clinic is currently going through. When this happens, the nurses have no choice but to send the patients to the medical shops in town. This means that the sick people have to pay a lot of money to get their full treatments.
They just give prescription to the patients to go to the chemist.
MTV caught up with the Madang Provincial Health Director, Marcus Kachau, and got his response to these unattended problems, resulting in the nurses' woes.
Most of the funds now are with our members. So our member for Madang open seat should look into this town clinic.
Kachau says the problems that the clinics are facing is nationwide, and the hold-up is the funding support from the national government, given the economic downturn.
The very big issue facing the country now is the funding. We are aware of all those issues and working towards trying to meet up with them.
Most staff at the clinics are women, and security is a major concern given the rundown buildings and fencing, which Mr. Kachau himself admitted have been there since the colonial days.
Our plans here is to replace it with a modern kind of clinic where if you go to Sisiak, you will see that is the latest design of the town clinics.
A contractor has already been assigned, starting with the town clinic, to maintain the whole facility from fencing to erecting a new building. However, Kachau says work may start before the year 2020 due to the lengthy process of getting the budget submissions approved. Rachel Shise, National MTV News, Madang.
The PNG Health Support Workers Association in Western Highlands Province is supporting their mother association in Port Moresby's decision to go on strike. President Mone Eriko said they will conduct a secret ballot next week to determine their next course of action. Eriko said it has been a year and 3 months since they presented their log of claims to the Personnel Management Department for approval.
The Western Highlands Health Support Workers have a total of 140 registered members working in all the clinics and hospitals in the province. They add to the total 3,000 plus membership of the association nationwide. They felt that they too need to be awarded like the health workers.
Doctors and nurses, all kissing awards, all we deserve that too. People deserve this too. People must kiss all this money too, because we do a lot of things. We are their backbone.
The PNG Health Support Workers Association was formed in 2014 by non-clinicians or staffs of clinics, hospitals and the health department who are not health practitioners. Most of them are cleaners, ambulance drivers, accountants, secretaries and ancillary staffs. They felt that for 40 years they have not been compensated like any other public servant or medical professional. On September 24, they submitted 11-point log of claims to Department of Personnel Management to recognize them and their hard work. Their foremost need is to have an increase in their salary and housing allowance.
On behalf of all health support workers, again, our sick and people president, and people office bearers and people talk out and people ready longo.
The association is now determined to conduct the ballot box and walk off their jobs. Basinata Yama, National MTV News, Mount Hagen.
Among stories after the break, teachers caught cheating during school exams, electoral officials assaulted, and Morbe provincial government repossessed government properties. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Education Minister Nick Kuman said today in Parliament that some incidents of cheating in schools reported by the media were not true. However, he did confirm that some teachers have been arrested for cheating.
Minister Kuman was responding to a question by Wabeg MP Robert Ganim.
There are a few schools throughout the country reported in the media, and also through our own investigation, we also confirmed that some of those incidents been reported is not true.
Kuman said this year has been one of the best years, and incidents of cheating they investigated were not too serious.
That the department is investigating an issue that came out from Menamia Secondary School in Morbe Province over breaking into the principal's office, and the criminals walk away with some exam papers. And somehow those exam papers got into the hands of some teachers in Gero Secondary School in NCD, some schools in Southern Highlands. Apparently, they said it's an answer sheet. Answer sheets are not provided until the exams are completed.
However, he did confirm that teachers have been arrested in relation to aiding students to teach, and other investigations are ongoing.
We got 3 teachers from the Gero Secondary School behind bars. The police are working with us. We got police dispatched to Menambe Secondary School. And there are 3 high schools in Southern Highlands were also been reported that there's incidents of grade 12 students having access to answer sheets. And they are all under investigation. And I want to also inform the Parliament that, those teachers will be terminated.
Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News.
Another teacher found cheating during the grade 8 examinations in Leh is now in police custody. The grade 7 teacher is from a rural primary school in Morbe province. The education program advisor for Morbe, Keith Jiram, says the teacher was found cheating by some students. The matter was reported to the head teacher, who then reported the matter to the Provincial Education Division. Jiram says the teacher has been doing the same in previous years until he was caught this year.
For the grade 8s, yes, we have a report for a particular teacher who had done the cheating. But in fact, we caught the teacher. But at this time, I do not want to mention the name of the particular teacher and what particular school. But the case is already with the police. We are trying to deter this cheating to make sure that the cheating should not be in the province anymore, starting this year and onwards. We know that cheating has been in the system for over the years, but we are able to catch that cheating particular teacher who is practicing that cheating. We have evidence of a number of students.
Electoral Commissioner Patilius Gamato calls for respect to be shown to all electoral officials. This comes after 5 electoral officials were assaulted this morning while on their way to Mendi for the handover-takeover ceremony of the Southern Highlands Province Electoral Manager.
Gamato said around 400 to 500 people attacked the officials just outside of Mount Hagen this morning.
Came to a place called Anga River. There were about 400 to 500 people waiting at that river. They came in vehicles, in bus load, Land Cruisers, trucks, and they stopped them there and attacked them.
Following this incident, he has advised the team to file a report with the police.
I'll be assessing the situation and I'll make a decision whether they go up or they come back from there. It's a traumatized situation, big crowd, 400 to 500 people attacking officers, and amongst the 5 officers, there are 3 female officers.
Speaking against this incident, he said the public should show more respect towards officers who are doing their job.
For public to attack electoral officials, it is not good, and I want to, on the strongest terms, condemn any attacks. I'm mindful that my officers or the officers of the Electoral Commission are out now conducting role updating. And so for public to attack them, for public to abuse the process is unacceptable. And I will not hesitate to use the powers of law.
This incident is a direct result of the change of the Southern Highlands electoral manager following official complaints against him from the provincial administration.
And it's not just him. There'll be other election managers around the country that I would like to change, because some of them have been there for too long in a province, and they may have become friendly to certain politicians or intending candidates.
Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News.
The Morbe provincial government has begun the long, tedious process of repossessing government property, some of which were disposed through questionable means over 20 years. Over the last 12 months, the business arm of the provincial government investigated and successfully prosecuted 2 supposed owners of properties. The ownership of 20 others are currently being investigated.
For the past 1 year and 4 months, the head of Morbe provincial government's business arm has been on a mission to identify and repossess government assets lost over 20 years.
And to go down and looking at the records, how some of this transaction took place, I am not surprised that the government of Kelly Naru has accumulated a lot of outstanding issues that no one has ever wanted to fix it.
It's a mammoth task that involved tracing source documents, including contracts of sale, land titles, and business ownership documents. Then some success early this month. 2 parties were successfully prosecuted and the properties repossessed. Along the 2 Mile area, this block of land is one of the properties taken back by the provincial government. From information obtained through the investigation, a lot of money changed hands. The provincial government won't reveal just how much, but the supposed owners of the plot didn't have their documents in place.
I will detail all the section, lot number, title and all that. I will do that so that there is concise information about how disposal of government asset over the last 30 years have taken place.
One of them is basically the land next door, which is the open park out here. Surprisingly, it's already registered in the name of a company. Whilst we have the title, this fellow seems to have another duplicate title too. So you can see how this funny business in land in Ley and the land dealings in Ley City has been going on.
Another property at Eriku has been repossessed. The tenants told to leave following a court order issued this month. According to a completed audit, there are 20 other properties that fall under a similar category. Some have no contract of sale. At least 1 block of land was bought and the former tenants forced out based on a false court order. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Ley.
A group of councillors from the Ley Urban LLG gathered outside Ley City Council office this morning, demanding to see the city management after project funds weren't paid on time. The frustration escalated when the city council management didn't turn up for a meeting yesterday. The employees of the city council have not been to work since electricity was cut a month ago.
The group, including contractors, gathered yesterday at the Ley City Council office to get a response from the management on why their payments of claims were delayed. A meeting between the councillors and the City Council management did not occur. City Council employees have not been to work after power was cut last month. Carol Yawing, the councillor for Ward 2, expressed their concern on the submission of one of her projects to City Council delayed since 2014.
Suppose government lo moro bem stop close to. Na em looking. Please, this la GST blo City Council inapol release him come down too na by hali vi mipla lol what development plans blo mipla.
The delays are affecting 5-year development plans in their respective areas. Contractors who were also present said the payments of written checks by the City Council couldn't be processed due to unavailability of funds in the administration's account. Topsy Abu is one of the contractors who has been owed more than 43,000 kina since 2013.
The main account has no money, nothing at all.
Billy Kimson, councillor for Ward 6, questioned when the authorities will sort out the ongoing issue, which has been a concern for almost 2 years. The yearly allocation of 360,000 kina for each ward in the city is still outstanding. Kimson said the councillors have been working on their own without support from higher authorities.
People will talk to them. Councillors, people voting, you know, working something. Councillors or submissions, people submitting finish said, but these submissions are still pending as of 2014 till now 2016.
Julie Badwi Owa, National EMTV News, Ley.
Pomeo MP Elias Kapavore is calling on the national government to make the South Coast Highway as a national priority road. MP Kapavore said despite the New Britain Highway being constructed, the South Coast Highway will play host to major economic activity for East New Britain province. He raised this concern during day 2 of the October Parliament sitting today.
Roads continue to be featured on the floor of Parliament. This morning, the Pomeo MP queried the development of the South Coast Highway in rural East New Britain. His call was for the national government to make the road a priority national highway.
Can the Minister confirm the South Coast Road as a national highway? Number 3, what is the government's plan to funding this important road link?
Responding to the questions, National Planning Minister Charles Abel said the road will be assessed before announcing it as a national highway. The Planning Minister said missing links are the priority road projects for the government.
In terms of, in particular, how it relates to the South Coast road, Mr. Speaker, I need to check on the particulars of that. But there's no doubt that it's an important economic highway. There's no doubt it's an important economic corridor, in the same way that the Waubulolo-Menyame is also a very, very important national highway.
Minister Abel explained to the House that levels of government will also play their role in building roads in districts. He says unless there is a significant economic opportunity along the stretch of road, the road will not be given priority.
In the past, unfortunately, the approach has been very fragmented, and you get huge amounts of funding somehow being allocated to roads that are not necessarily priority roads. And some of that was mentioned on the floor of Parliament yesterday, how hundreds of millions somehow get spent in different parts.
Yesterday, Works Minister Francis Awesa was in the spotlight from the opposition over ADB-funded road projects. However, he maintained that the government is doing its best to complete road projects in the country with help from development partners. Jack Lapave Jr., National, EMTV News.
Minister for Sports, National Events and APEC 2018, Justin Tichenko, has come out defending PNG's ability to host the Leaders Summit in Port Moresby. He was responding to a question by the Governor for East New Britain, Airman Tobining Jr.
Mr. Speaker, can the Minister just explain, because of the politics that it's going around Papua New Guinea, and of course with the opposition trying to cancel the APEC meeting in 2018, can the Minister, lighten up, this House and the people of this country regarding the APEC meeting? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I think it's absolutely deplorable that the Leader of Opposition can say that we should cancel the APEC conference in 2018. Our APEC will be one of the most cost-effective in the history of APEC. The Kina amount I mentioned this week is not the overall APEC budget, but includes costs that are part of the normal government operations. Our police and military will work on APEC, but many of their normal costs are part of the recurrent expenditure. The real cost of APEC meetings is closer to 120 million to host all the meetings. These APEC meetings are crucial for our national economic advancement. And we have most of our infrastructure already in place. That's why we can afford to spend 120 million on hosting all these different meetings, over 200 meetings to the lead-up of the Leaders Summit in 2018. We already have the International Convention Centre, which is a gift from the Chinese government, which will be utilised. APEC House will be utilised for the two major meetings. We also have the brand new Hilton Hotel being built for the main convention and hosting the welcome dinner. The infrastructure in our country is here. We do not need to build any more infrastructure. We utilise what we have, which will cut costs and make APEC 2018 a success for Papua New Guinea and for all the world to see. Thank you.
And now looking at our finance news, the Kina closed unchanged at $0.3155 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina was buying $0.3080 $0.3998 Australian dollars, $0.2797 euro and 31.72 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee and cocoa closed higher while copper closed the day lower. Palm oil and crude oil closed lower while copper closed the day higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 53.76 points lower, the ASX is trading at 83.03 points lower, and the All Ordinaries is trading at 81.15 points lower. PNG Cancer Foundation launched the Mousegrass campaign, and a theme park tragedy in Australia kills 4 people. Those stories still to come on National EMTV News. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the news. Mouth cancer is the most dominant form of cancer found in men in PNG. This is from PNG Cancer Foundation Chief Executive Officer Daddy Toka Jr. at the launch of the Mousegrass campaign today. The Mousegrass campaign will have 2 workshops next month to raise awareness on men's cancer.
The PNG Cancer Foundation has rebranded this year's Men's Cancer Awareness Campaign from Movember to Mousegrass Campaign. This year's campaign is sponsored by the National Gaming Control Board. The company presented a 30,000 kina check to the foundation. This is the second year that the NGCB has sponsored the Men's Cancer Awareness Campaign under a 5-year agreement.
To focus around mouth cancer, and of course that's where betel nut chewing and smoking, those lifestyle choices that you make need to be addressed, and that's what the workshop will gauge around and discuss and into a lot of detail.
The campaign will create a platform to give men the opportunity to learn and talk about men's cancer. NGCB Chief Executive Officer Imelda Agon believes that men's cancer in the country has not been talked about because of cultural taboo.
That's why the NGCB in 2015, when we were approached by Daddy Toka and his team, we came on board to make sure that when it comes to cancer awareness in the country, there is a balance in the message that's being sent out to Papua New Guineans in general, because as Papua New Guineans, we have cultural diversity, and we have cultural norms and taboos that make it difficult for us to talk about cancers that affect our private parts.
The 2 workshops will be conducted on the 28th of November. They're aiming to reach up to 400 people at the workshops.
And having these 2 sessions, let's have it in focus groups. So you have tables, groups of 10. So it might be a group of guys who know each other, or random some. But the important thing is that if there's a question, it'll come from that table and not from a specific individual. So you know, if you're still a bit embarrassed or not very comfortable about talking about certain issues about cancer, it's not going to be, the spotlight is not going to be on you.
Merlin Diaukatam, National EMTV News.
Today marks Pink Ribbon Day to remember women who have lost their battle against breast and cervical cancer. According to the PNG Cancer Foundation, 2 women die every day in PNG as a result of cervical cancer, while the admission of malignant cancer at Port Moresby General Hospital is 28% cervical cancer and 9% breast cancer. Meanwhile, this year's Pink Ribbon Brunch will be held on Friday at the Laguna Hotel.
Of course, today is Pink Ribbon Day, so of course it's a time to I guess reflect on the women that have been affected by women's cancers. So on Friday we do a brunch. It's a fundraiser, but at the same time we're conducting education. We have a couple of testimonies, one for cervix and one for breast cancer. So and that's taken a while to have people be comfortable enough to say, hey, I think I'm okay to now speak in public. So yeah, please come. I think we've got some very good inspiring stories from these survivors.
Turning overseas, 4 people were killed yesterday on a river rapids ride at Australia's biggest theme park after a malfunction threw 2 of the park's patrons off the ride and left 2 others trapped inside. Rescue workers attended to the tragedy at the Thunder River Rapids ride at Dreamworld on the Gold Coast, the main tourist district in Australia's northeastern state of Queensland. Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull said there would be a thorough investigation to determine the cause of the accident.
The 4 dead ranged in age from the early 30s to the early 40s. It was not immediately clear if they were locals or tourists, police said. Todd Reid, an inspector with Queensland Police, told the media the police are investigating what caused the ride to malfunction.
We are deeply shocked and saddened by this, and our hearts and our thoughts go to the families involved and to their loved ones.
The ride, meant to simulate going over river rapids, uses round floating devices that seat 6 and can reach speeds of 45 kilometers per hour. It is described by Dreamworld as a moderate thrill attraction for those older than 2. Visitors to the theme park, 48 kilometers south of Brisbane, said they had seen repairs to the ride before the accident, but a Dreamworld spokeswoman told Reuters she was unable to confirm their reports. Dreamworld CEO Craig Davidson offered condolences to the families of the victims.
Rides have sustained some sort of malfunction, causing 2 people to be ejected from a ride. Another 2 people were caught inside the ride, 2 males and 2 females. They were assessed by Queensland Ambulance personnel and had all sustained injuries that were incompatible with living.
Tuesday's tragedy ranks among the world's deadliest theme park accidents. Earlier incidents include 8 teenagers killed in the 1984 fire at the Six Flags Great Adventure Amusement Park in New Jersey in the United States, 6 people killed by a failed simulated rocket launch in Shenzhen, China in 2010, and 5 children killed when the Battersea Park Big Dipper malfunctioned in Britain in 1972.
We're now working together with the park to try and determine how this tragic incident has occurred. And I am able to confirm at this point that 4 adult persons have lost their lives as a result of the incident.
Vanessa Knight, EMTV World News.
Coming up in Chukai Sports, coaches and athletes attend the Sports Leadership Summit on the Gold Coast. Details after the break.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. 30 coaches and athletes, including staff from the High Performance Centre, attended a 2-day leadership workshop on the Gold Coast in Australia. The Gold Coast will host the next Commonwealth Games in 2018, and like the success of the Pacific Games, PNG is up to the challenge by ensuring coaches and athletes are well prepared for the tasks ahead. MTV's Godwin Eki travelled with the team to the Gold Coast and files this report.
The recipients took part in group activities, scenarios relating to sporting events and issues that relates to the PNG context and how they could solve the matter as leaders in their respective sporting codes. Both coaches and athletes were given time to share and acknowledge one another's involvement with sports in PNG and how they can impact their communities.
We obviously encourage, both from leadership, from an educational point of view, and from the sports point of view, for athletes to come and stay with us, and we call our centre a one-stop shop.
The coaches and the athletes also conducted outside activities as part of team bonding. Griffith University and various sites in the city were also visited by the team to get advice from sporting experts.
Really empowering all of these PNG athletes that they can be a leader just like they can be the athlete. So we've looked at the ability, so how can we practice leadership? So this workshop, and particularly over the whole 2 days, upskilling individuals into how they can implement it into their life. So that leadership isn't just this separate thing about who they are, it becomes what they are.
The recipients were later awarded certificates for taking part in the 2016 PNG Leadership Sports Summit. The aim now is to prepare for the Commonwealth Games on the Gold Coast. PNG will work closely with the City Council of Gold Coast to make Runaway Bay's Sports Super Centre the home and training ground for all PNG athletes and coaches in the future. Godwin Eki, National MTV Sports.
Memories of former All Blacks great Jonah Lomu will live on in Papua New Guinea with the launching of the Jonah Lomu Cup. The New Zealand High Commission in Papua New Guinea and Capital Rugby Union in Port Moresby unveiled the logo during the launching of the Jonah Lomu Legacy Rugby Sevens Tournament Cup at the New Zealand High Commission in Port Moresby.
John Tali Lomu was born on May 12,
1975 and was one of the New Zealand's most prolific rugby union players. He was the youngest ever All Black when he played his first international in 1994 at the age of 19. From there on, he became a true global superstar of rugby union. Lomu retired from professional rugby in 2007 and died at the age of 40 in 2015 after suffering a heart attack caused by his kidney disease. When speaking at the Jonah Lomu Cup launch, New Zealand High Commissioner to PNG, His Excellency Tony Fautua, said he was overwhelmed by the huge amount of support and condolences received from around PNG following his death in November 18, 2015. Fautua said due to the hosting of the Under-20 Women's World Cup next month, the Jonah Lomu Legacy Rugby Sevens Tournament Cup to commemorate the first anniversary of Lomu's passing will be held from December 9 to 11 in Port Moresby. The High Commissioner said Lomu's widow, Nadine, and their two sons, Brayley and Daryl, have been invited to officially open the tournament. The invitation will be extended to former All Black and late Lomu's teammates to attend as well. Present to witness the launching is President of Capital Rugby Union Jacob Anga, who said the Jonah Lomu Legacy Rugby Sevens Tournament Cup has been sanctioned by the PNG RFU and will become an annual event on its calendar. 15 men's and 9 women's teams have confirmed their participation for this inaugural John Lomu Legacy Cup tournament. With the registration fee of 500 kina, President Anga said there is no prize money as any funds raised will go straight to junior development. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. PNG RFL Chairman Sandy Saka says 2016 has been a good year for PNG Rugby League internationally with our recent successes. He has summed up the year saying the standard has improved.
Sandy Saka says since the board was put in place in 2014, this also resulted in PNG's first win after 20 years. PNG played Tonga in Lae Morobe province in 2014, beating them 32-18. He says on the international front, the Commonwealth win against Fiji has helped in PNG's ranking.
We lost closely to Fiji in 2015 and to beat them in Sydney by 2 points was a good result for PNG on the international scale. It actually improved our international ranking. We've got international credibility. It is a national sport and the sport has needed a win of that magnitude.
Success at the international level has trickled down to the domestic competitions in the country.
We've got our schoolboys going, our leagues. Finally, in a long time, we got all our leagues going to the grand finals. We're visiting throughout the country. The standard of rugby league at the coaching and refereeing has improved.
Saka also spoke about the Hunters season and commended Michael Marum, his coaching staff and the team for making it into the finals in 2 consecutive years. He also added the Hunters program has been a success this year.
Where the team is evolving and growing every year actually bodes well for the future of rugby league in country. So Hunters are actually providing the impetus for the growth of rugby league at the grassroots level. Michael and the boys have learned from this, and with the World Cup thing coming, they've expanded looking at expanding their playing pools. We're looking at moving into a permanent venue.
The standard of rugby league has improved this year. It is just violence in the sport that tarnishes the code. PNG RFL will be looking into this matter to come up with solutions and penalties.
Little issues like violence in sport, not little, it's a serious issue, but we're moving to address that. And when we got those little things right, rugby league is not just about the footy, it's about off-field administration, management, governance, all that thing happening at the same time. So it's a collective effort, and without the support of many volunteers.
Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
And that ends Trukai Sports. Up next, the weather details for the next 24 hours. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Your weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region. Passing thundery showers in Port Moresby, a shower or two tonight in Daru. Rain showers in Kerema, cloudy periods in Alotau and thundery showers in Popondetta. In the Momasi region, thundery showers in Ley, fine although cloudy in Medang, Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, passing thundery showers in Lorengau, rain showers with possible thunderstorms in Kavieng, rain showers and thunderstorms in Kokopo and Rabaul, rain showers in Kimbe, rain showers and thunderstorms in Buka. And in the Highlands region, thundery showers in all centers.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
We go a recap on tonight's top stories. Woman arrested for stealing and reselling hire cars, cancer treatment availability a growing concern, and the Education Minister fields questions on cheating in exams. And that's the way it is this Wednesday, the 26th of October 2016. From the news team, pleasant viewing. Good night.